hopefully it is not too laggy then.
Hopefully.
At the moment, you look like a blurred painting, so...
Oh, no, that's not good. That's not good. Yes, lads.
Yo!
Oh, there we are. How's it going?
What's
All
up,
good,
bro?
man, yourself?
How have we been?
God, mate, I tell you what, been all right. Been getting on with life, you know? Like, literally, I got fat over Christmas, and then I got told I was too fat. And then, yeah, life moved on. What about you guys? How's things?
Wait, go back. How fat did you get?
Literally, I put on like half a kilo, and my coach turned around and was like, he literally grabbed my stomach and was like, yeah, you're too fat.
That is
was
that is some like Weight Watchers body shaming shit, man.
Yeah, what better way is still some...
Wait. Hang on a minute, you're recording. Brilliant. Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're already recording. We just kicked things off. I'm just gonna try and find out when we had you on the first time.
I was just trying to figure that out myself. It was like November time, was it not? Or
I think it was no. It probably was. I think it was just before. Just before we had a bit of testing in the squad, and then had Christmas, and then it would have been November, October time.
7th of November is when you put the post up.
Nice.
So 3 months. So give us the rundown, what you've been up to in the last 3 months. Yeah.
Oh mate, so what have we been up to? So yeah, we had a bit of internal testing, so that November time. Maybe debut for the Brooks rowing lot, which is good fun. Got the win as well, which is quite exciting. That was good. And then December, kind of just a bit of general training, just grinding out basically. And then had a bit of a Christmas, like I say, off, a bit of relaxed training. And then January we were on land training camp, and mate, my will to live left the chat. Like, it was actually
how horrific was it? Go on.
Because obviously I'm teaching full time as well. I had to do a lot of it on my own. So it was like we're doing 2 sessions a day, 6 days a week. It was 2 or 3 sessions a day, 6 days a week, but long mileage. It would be 20k on the erg in the morning, and then you do a weight session, and then it'd be 90 minutes on the bike in the evening. I think that was probably our worst day.
That's horrific.
Yeah, it was just long mileage, but it was class. Actually, I think I spent it was in the last week of sort of January. I was in a bin, mentally and physically. I'm just I'm tired. I'm really tired, and now actually coming out the other side of it, okay, yeah, I've still had to do some of the training on my own, but actually really starting to see some really quite good speeds now, which is quite exciting. So yeah, it's exciting to see the physiological gains of that really intense training block kind of hopefully play out. So yeah, what about you guys? What's been the lowdown for the past 3 months?
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's actually something I was talking about on my story today. Do you know what's motivating? Actually getting results. You're oh, this is the work I'm putting in is paying off. And that then you think okay, if that come round again, yeah, it's going to suck, but it's worth doing because I've seen it pay off. So actually just committing yourself for a period of time and seeing that progress is worth doing.
Oh, 100%. And I think it's also taking not taking the easy wins. I think that's wording it maybe wrong, but actually I think progress is progress, no matter how small. There's what they always talk back about striving for that being 0.1% better every day compounds to 37% or something over time instead of I can't remember the exact figure, but today.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's ridiculous.
100%. And so what was it today? So usually every Monday we have a testing piece. So we do it's 30 minutes as hard as you can row, basically covering as much distance as you can. And I improved by 3 meters on last week, and so it's a 3 meter PB, but it's still a PB kind of thing. And I know it's okay, yeah, there's not much. It's not I've covered 100 meters more. Some weeks you'll
yeah, but if you do that for 52 weeks,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's taking that small win that compounds into the bigger win, and actually it's exciting. It's really exciting. So yeah.
Win the day, as Hunter Labrada would say. Oh, did you see that? I posted so Jimpin reposted the thing that I did the other week, and Hunter Labrada liked it. I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah, you have made fangirling. I saw it.
I was having a
big
great
memories,
time. I was like, that's mental. But
I
yeah,
don't-
John, what have you been up to, mate? Sorry, I've just rambled.
No. It's
actually
literally
answered
the same as you guys, just trying to take small wins where I can. Obviously, uni taking a bit, like a chunk of load of my time at the minute. So taking small wins when I can, prioritizing, I think as well. I think if you can't tell from the Instagram and like the lack of posts, I've been taking time away from training to kind of focus on myself. But yeah, just striving for those marginal gains every day. Just trying to get that a little bit better.
When you say like taking time away, was that just like a bit of like mental reset? We just like, you know what?
Yeah, mental reset. A lot of stuff has gone on with uni and also in my personal life recently. So I think I'm almost having like a needs analysis of myself and just kind of being like, right, now's the time to kind of step away, think about a lot of the stuff that's happened and kind of move forward from there and trying to put a plan in place.
I think that's so important. Like looking at almost like what you value, like, is so important. Like one thing, so I'm a tutor at school, but like one thing I try and do with the kids is like actually what do you value most in your life, and how is that aligning with your prioritization kind of thing. And I mean, yeah, have you done that? Like, have you kind of like, whether it's values or whether it's putting emotional energy into something, like, was there anything that you were quite surprised with?
No, it's more recently it's become about the values, but initially it was more just take a step back, kind of realize what my values were in the first place, build upon them, kind of extend the branches out if you would look on a tree, and then start putting them in place.
Yeah,
so making my bed every day instead of just leaving it, or doing my washing when it needs to get done.
Oh man, I hate doing washing so much. Like, it's literally my most hated thing. I did it like 2 days ago, and it's sat on the thing. I haven't taken it off yet because it's just, I just despise doing it.
It's the worst when you start going through like 3 pairs of clothes a day. It just builds so quick.
Yeah. And the worst one is when it's time to wash your bedding as well, because like I hate making my bed and I hate doing washing. So it's like putting two things together I just really don't want to do.
Yeah, no, fair. Actually, how long do you guys leave it before washing the sheets? Just so I'm not a little weird.
A week.
I'm not going to comment on this one.
Oh, you've got a girlfriend as well, mate. You've got no.
She doesn't live here. So I realised a few weeks ago that I hadn't washed them for like 3 months. That was really bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
That's some
horrific, isn't it?
Did it become like a terrarium in there? Or was
I just forgot to do it, and I really hate it, so I just never did it. Ollie's face is like, fuck.
Sorry, can we just rewind?
No, let's
3 months
past this bit.
The last
Forget
time
those blue light blockers.
You've not changed.
You need to wash those sheets first.
Huh?
Forget the blue light blockers. Sorry.
Go on, John.
No, you go, lad. You go.
I was going to say, you've not changed your sheets since our last podcast, mate.
Yeah, basically. No, but I did them like 3 weeks ago, so I'm gonna do them again this week, I reckon.
Mate, that's
life PBs.
Mate, new record. Mate, that's.
I'm pretty sure my housemate's laughing because she just heard me talk about that, or she might be laughing at something else. But yeah, grim. In terms of me, I've just been up to same sort of thing uni-wise. It's getting pretty hectic around this time. So for some reason, all group assignments start in the same week. So I'm like, yeah, cool. And they're all due in the same week as well. So that's very good scheduling on the uni part. I've also just about to hand in a like formative assignment on framing effects, which is something actually quite interesting that I think we could talk about for a little bit. So do you know what that sort of refers to? So essentially, like how you frame a decision, so how you present it may change people's preferences. And this specifically, the question was, would it be better to stock a product labeled 80% fat free or 20% fat?
80%.
Do you get what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't 20% light chocolate or 20%. You know, that's a rubbish example, but like, and also like humans are simple. We love the big numbers. We're like, oh, big number, yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
it must be better.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I sort of ended up finding from looking at stuff.
Mm.
And it was also quite interesting as well that they found, or one of the studies found, a greater effect in women of like towards the 80% fat free when it came to chocolate, now that you mention it as well. So that was quite interesting, but it doesn't seem to be as effective as you get like closer and closer towards that 100% mark. Because I suppose you're thinking like, oh, not like 98% fat free, does it really like fucking matter compared to normal, if you get what I mean? So yeah, that was quite interesting. I actually quite enjoyed that. So size matters. Yeah, size does. Why would you not just say that?
I'm a teacher, mate.
Okay, fair. Yeah. John, why would you say that?
What?
Come on, bro.
Sorry. Pick that down.
Sorry, my brain is just mate, like, so wait, what was that in? Within, was it like a marketing module you were doing at uni?
So behavioral economics. So it's talking about sort of like deviations from the standard economic model and why people don't behave how they should be, or how they should, if that makes sense.
Would you see any of that in the fitness? Would you say there's any parallels to that in the fitness industry?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's still a massive thing of people thinking like, oh, fat is bad for you, you can't eat fat. And because that's been demonized for decades.
Yeah.
Especially in the mainstream media as well. Because I mean, most of the varieties of dietary fat that people eat are absolute shit. So I'll explain why.
I mean, I've literally just smashed through a whole bar of Toblerone, so I can't really talk. But yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, mate, Toblerone is elite. It's worth every calorie. Wait, isn't like one thing like 150 calories or something like that? It is. I had one at Christmas.
It was only the smaller, like the 100-gram bars, like, so it's like the really small ones. So like, if I eat the whole thing, I'm not too much of a fatty, but like, it's like,
yeah, I get what you mean. That's another interesting thing that we were talking about actually today in my seminar for that module. So when the price of something is raised, that reduces sales more than when it would be decreased, and the increase in people purchasing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when the price of something is raised, say by 10p, less people buy it than if it was reduced by 10p and the number of people increasing purchasing. I think I've explained that really, really poorly.
No, that makes sense. Like, in terms of like,
so we are essentially like, we hate feeling like we've been robbed, and we're more opposed to financial losses. So that's why companies will decrease the size of something rather than increase the price. Because that came from the thought of the gaps between Toblerone are fucking huge now. Like, it's ridiculous. They used to be like tiny, and now it's like literally an eyeball. I don't know why I thought that was the measure.
You say that in terms, actually, because actually I was speaking to Robbie Tuckman. Yeah, like, I was speaking to him because he's just launched Kyber, and he was saying, I was like, actually, I was quite honest with him in terms of like the initial price point. I was like, that's quite a lot for an individual can of like energy drink. And he was like, yeah, like, it's just not feasible for me to like put any prices low. Obviously, where he's a startup and everything, but like, yeah. And then with time, I think because he sold X amount, etc., did well enough. Like, it was like, oh, I can bring price down, etc. But yeah, no, we as humans hate feeling like we've lost, taken a loss.
Does it differ per like any population or like socioeconomic status?
I think it would probably depend on how important the product is as well. Like if
Yeah.
it's something that's essential, well, you're going to get it anyway. Like if it's something you absolutely need to get, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then when the price of, say, Kyber comes down or your iPhone comes down, we then feel like we gained, because that previous price is then the reference point, and you're like, fucking hell, I'm winning here. I better buy it before the price goes back up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why if you look at actually like I swear my protein, like when they're like, oh yeah, it's a massive sale, like they claim it's a sale, but it's like, I swear, like actually there's a sale all year round. So like
They're making money regardless.
Yeah.
They're making
Like,
bank.
Yeah. Like
there are some laws against that sort of thing, because it's such a powerful effect, so that companies have to like sell it at a certain price before they're allowed to then discount it. So they can't just say it was £1,000 when it was never actually sold at £1,000, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you go to a furniture shop and they're like, initially 999, cut to 799, cut to 699, cut to 499. And you're like, oh, I'm getting like 4 discounts here.
If only. But,
Yeah.
oh, the life of economics, eh? How it controls our, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I hate actual economics, but that module is really interesting.
Wait, you've got your disc next year, don't you? Or is it this
Yeah. I don't know. Apparently, we don't actually have to do one, so I don't really know what my course gets examined on. I guess it's just exams, but
I mean, like from personal experience, if I was you, do a disc, because
I would
like
rather do a dissertation, yeah, because I'm like not retarded when it comes to planning stuff, and I won't do it the night before.
Yeah.
So I can actually plan stuff out in advance, and it will work out okay. I hate exams so much.
Totally fair. Like, yeah, and also it's a really good chunk of marks you can bank. Like if you do well in it, like yeah, it will bump your, because it's worth what, like 60% of your final year or something, isn't it? So I can't
I'm
remember,
not
like
entirely sure, but that would be good if it is.
Yeah. So actually, like, yeah,
I think this is per course.
Yeah.
But it's still a massive chunk of your grade. Do you have
John,
you looked at any ideas for your dissertation yet?
Absolutely none. I'd like to do it on stuff relating to well, the group of like this module's from is like behavioral sciences, so essentially understanding why people act the way they do. And if I can do some more stuff related to that, that'd be sick, because that's actually interesting, and everything else is like so boring. So
dog shit.
Yeah,
John,
I reckon that'll be the plan.
Sorry,
what are you doing at uni, mate?
I'm doing sport and exercise science.
Yeah, decent. Hey, God,
Yes, sir.
Diversity of degrees.
Yeah.
And actually, actually last time we spoke, Jack was just about to restart his degree, or like change his course or something, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was doing computer science, is that right? And they changed it.
Yeah. I think he's doing sport coaching and fitness.
Yeah.
Along those lines.
Wasn't he 2 years in and then he changed his course?
Yeah.
Oh, that's grim. At least it's online though, so he's not like at uni physically again for 3 years.
Yeah, still with open uni, isn't he? Yeah. So yeah, fair play. Like, yeah, he must have really hated that. Like computer science at uni, that's intense. Like, I mean, like maths and stuff like that.
Well, I think most people go to uni as an opportunity to reinvent themselves and be a different person and get some independence. I don't think they really go to do a degree.
Yeah, yes and no. Actually, I found actually uni made me appreciate academics so much more. I might be quite unique on that, but I found because basically, so like basically my brother and I were basically polar opposite, and I was always like the sporty brother, and he was I was a sporty brother, and he was always like the diligent, like smart one. And then like went to uni, like did my modules, and I was like, oh shit, like this is actually like really quite interesting. I've chosen a degree, I've chosen a degree I'm enjoying. And like it kind of, because I sort of gained confidence by like not only getting some all right marks and stuff, I was like, oh, I can do this. Oh, maybe I can be deemed as like quote unquote academic. So I don't know. I think it definitely sparked an interest in learning for me actually. I don't know. What have you? What would you say, guys? Do you think it's done that for you guys? Do you think it's this like push you away from academics?
I would say that the I mean, I might be wrong. So if any uni students are listening to this and they really enjoy your degree, please let us know. But I would say the vast majority of people that I speak to don't enjoy their degrees. Like if you speak to them on the day to day, they're like, oh, I fucking hate this. This is shit. Like, let's not do it. That sort of thing. I would say it very much depends on the module and the tutor, because if you get a great tutor, they can make a boring subject interesting. If you just get someone who's actually like passionate about what they're doing and wants to teach people, it's great. And you look forward to going to that, even if it's a bit of a naff module.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, even though, I mean, I find that with the kids I'm teaching at school, like some of them, like at the start of the term, I was like, oh, you're going to do geography for GCSE. So I'm teaching geography at the moment. They were like, oh, you can do geography for GCSE. Some of them were like, no, geography is just maps, isn't it? And now it's like, wow.
I thought it was just colouring in.
Yeah, glorified colouring in, but that's it.
What? But now they want to do it.
Yeah, and like actually having that impact on someone's life. Like, I think the power of education is actually so, like, it's so important, and especially whether it be like obviously on our coaching platforms or whether it actually be like in my case like genuinely out of school. Like, I think it's such a rewarding thing educating, whether it be a client or a child, a concept that they may not understand, or like trying to give somebody a form to you, or trying to explain a geographical concept in my case. Like, the moment when they have that light bulb moment is a big part of why I do it. Don't know.
Do you think making subjects compulsory is kind of making people lose interest a lot quicker?
Yeah,
or
I completely
do you think
get what you mean.
Hindering anything?
I think that it needs to come to a point. So like, I think you need to do a certain amount of subjects for a certain period of time, just to have that basis foundation of like general, just common sense and like, basic level of understanding, like for example, like maths, basic level science, English, etc. Like, I think these are fundamentals we shouldn't look, but actually, you don't want to diversify too young, but I think actually, I think schools time it really quite well in terms of like when you actually need to choose your subjects of choice. Just because like from 16 to 18, you start forming into your later adult self more than you would from a younger age anyway. So actually, like, it ties together that physical change and that emotional change there, I think, personally. But what do you guys think? Do you think like subjects shouldn't be compulsory?
See, if I look backwards, I would now choose completely different like GCSEs and A levels to what I chose at the time, if that makes sense, just based on how my interests have changed. So I think personally, the more core stuff should be compulsory for as long as possible, if you get what I mean.
So oh yeah, well, actually, what was it? Sunak literally turned around and was like, oh yeah, maths is compulsory now for
I try to slip it in there without mentioning him.
Mate, the algorithm's gonna either ban us or promote us big time.
Yeah. I did maths at A level and it was absolutely horrific because my module leader was like, I don't even know was it teacher? I'm not really sure, but he was just so dull. So it was not entertaining whatsoever. Like, I literally fell asleep in his class once. That was a bad day. He was not happy about that one. So don't do as I say, kids.
Totally fair.
No, wait, don't do as I do. Do as I say. Yeah, that's what it goes. I don't know. Do as I say if you want to. No, I'm just going to stop talking. Done. I'm done.
John, what did you do? Did you do A levels? Or did you do?
No, I went to college personally, and I was literally just thinking about how a good teacher, it can really make or break a subject. Because I was at a point where I'd lost interest in academics, but there was this one teacher, and I felt a need to impress him because he was of a certain higher education, whether or not I'm just easily influenced a lot by someone having a few letters before their name I don't know. But I think a very good teacher makes or breaks a subject, and I've had a lot of bad teachers break a lot of subjects for me. In terms of things being compulsory, I think make sure they're good teachers first of all. Make sure they're actually decent people and not just absolute cunts. And then I think science should be compulsory in my opinion. I don't know about maths, taking that to like A-level compulsory. I don't know if that's maybe taking it too far, but that may be coming from some bias as well.
The jump from GCSE to A-level maths was absolutely horrific. I remember that.
Are you using a lot of it, like day to day? Are you?
Bro, I can't remember any of it. Yeah, no. When I actually set up my single arm pull downs, I get a protractor out and start doing.
Oh yeah, Pythagoras.
To work it out, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
every single time. I wonder how different that would be in terms of the quality of teachers if like the pay was somehow structured differently, because they always seem to be striking about something, don't they?
Yeah, I was going to say like teachers. So I work in a boarding school, and like, so I work 6 days a week. If I probably tossed it up my like hourly pay rate, it would probably be like £4. Like this weekend, for example, like I worked Saturday and Sunday because like I was away. So we had the boys had a rugby tournament, and so I was coaching at the rugby tournament. Like, so I worked 7 days last week. Like, which I've chosen it, but equally I look at like my monthly income for my teaching. I'm like, my performance, like my online coaching serves me better than my teaching salary at the moment. And it's like that's really quite sad, considering like I'm teaching full time and my platform is like is my side, is quote unquote my side hustle. It's I don't know, because like actually I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm money drawn anyway, and like actually, but equally with the cost of living kind of thing, like but so like sometimes I do look at the pay and think actually like I'm working hard, and like is that I think to myself kind of thing like am I is that all I'm worth? Sometimes I kind of like beat myself up about it. I'm like, oh, like maybe this is my calling in terms of like maybe that's what I'm worth. But then actually I don't think for me in my case I didn't really look at the salary as a thing I wanted from this kind of thing. Like my reason for doing it was like as John was saying there, like having good teachers. So like I had some real role models in my time, like in my time both at school, through sports clubs, through my time at uni and stuff like that. And actually like I saw this opportunity here as like, you know what, I've been lucky enough to have some really good role models. If I can be a role model, or if I can shape someone's life in a positive direction, if I can change one kid's life in a positive way, that's my idea of success in this role kind of thing.
I completely get what you mean. Like I can recall 2 teachers, one I had in primary school, one I had in secondary school, and I can still remember them like just as well now as when they were teaching me.
100%.
Because they were such good teachers, and like a really, really positive impact that you enjoyed like their lessons, you wanted to go to their lessons, you wanted to impress them, you wanted to do well. And something I was going to ask earlier actually, is there anything that you sort of taken either from coaching or teaching and applied it to the other realm, if that makes sense? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think actually, like, I know it might sound a bit weird, but the ability to be just be human. I know that sounds probably a bit weird, but like in terms of like actually just being real with both your clients, but also like the kids I'm teaching kind of thing. Like I pride myself on being like having quite like what you see is what you get, having quite an open and honest relationship. And I think like, okay, yeah, like don't get me wrong, there's like coach athlete relationship, no different from my teacher and pupil relationship, pupil teacher relationship in terms of like professionalism. But equally, like I'd want to be seen as, you know, if a client or a shopper or people came to me and wanted to have a chat and like get something off their chest, they could come to me. Like just having that.
Yeah. I completely get what you mean. Like building up that rapport. So there's still the respect there, but you can also have a laugh with them occasionally and like not feel like everything is so strict and it has to be 100% this way.
100%. And I think that's sometimes like completely overlooked. Like sometimes people focus too much on like the professionalism element, but actually like sometimes you need to put that hand on the shoulder, and it's knowing when to do what kind of thing. Because both I find like with I don't know if I spoke about this last time, but like some clients really need that kind of like that constant kind of like hand on the shoulder. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. X, Y, Z. Whereas other clients, it's very much a case of like, well, no, actually, like you've like. I had one girl recently, like she was like really, really stressed and like really like, oh, I'm not gonna be ready in time for this race, etc. And I was like, well, this is where you make a choice. You can either trust me and like go back to why ultimately you've hired me. I know that sounds a bit like in no way is it egotistical, but
that's not something you can say from day one. But yeah, a couple of months down the line, when you built that trust with them, they're like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, I've asked Ollie to help me with this for a reason.
Yeah, and that's actually a principle I kind of like learned off Matt. Like I remember like on the first few stages of like when I was losing weight ages ago, I was like, mate, there's no way I'm gonna be ready. Like, oh my god, I just had the head wobble. And I was like, I'm not gonna be ready, I'm not gonna make the weight. Oh my god, like it's not gonna come off. And he was like, mate, just relax. Like, by you stressing about it and saying you're not gonna do it, like what's that achieving? Yeah, so yeah, it's just learning to be almost a bit of a chameleon sometimes, and like learning which face to put on and which shoulder to put the hand on, kind of thing. I think that's something I've definitely done.
Yeah, I completely get what you mean. I don't even know how we initially got onto that discussion, but it was actually I think it was because, well, John mentioned uni and then I mentioned uni, and then we sort of started talking about what we were doing at uni. And another thing that I think should be like you do for longer is PE as well, and like, or yeah, physical education, some form of nutrition, because the amount of people who have no idea is absolutely astounding, and it's like really, really upsetting to see.
There definitely needs to be like some at least more classroom work with PE. Like if that's what you mean by having more PE, like instead of just like dicking around with badminton or whatever sport you're on just for that season, there definitely does need to be some structured learning. Because quite frankly, you talk to people about what they have, or like just take nutrition for example. Like half people don't even know what they're eating.
Yeah, because from my knowledge, the sort of structured sit down, this muscle is this bone is here, is only in GCSE PE from what I remember, or when it was like really rainy outside and you just couldn't go outside and there was no indoor space. So you basically never had it, if that makes sense. And that's going back to our discussion earlier about, can we have someone who's actually passionate about the subject and gives a fuck and makes this muscle does what interesting.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Because to sit down and learn from a textbook is fucking boring.
But I think, but also not just on the classroom side, like in terms of I think that actually like learning to move properly. Like this is one thing, like it's a school I'm working at the moment, like we've got a lead S&C coach, and he's doing a really good job of like, so we get like the kids start at year 9 at the school, and like he's like teaching them how to do a press up, how to do a sit up, how to do a bodyweight squat. But then by the time they're in sixth form and they're expected to turn up to their weekly strength and conditioning sessions for their main sport, they've got that movement pattern nailed down to a T. And I think almost as a byproduct of COVID as well, some kids just lost the ability to, like, I look at my childhood, I was running around like climbing trees and like using my body weight to pull myself up on a tree, or like, and stuff like that. Some of the kids just
when your brother would say to you, oh, you can't climb that tree. Yes, I fucking can, mate.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think it's definitely a case of actually tying the gap between like actually like understanding of human anatomy, but also like learning to do basic movements of a squat. Like, I know it sounds like the basic S&C principles that I really try and encourage in my coaching programs of a squat, like a push, like a squat, a press, a hinge, a pull, and a rotation. You know, if you can do all 5 of them, like them well, you're in good stead, I think, personally.
Yeah, but like that just isn't really taught. Like I remember there were some nutrition related stuff in food tech or whatever it was called, but it clearly can't have been taught that well. To that, I don't remember any of it apart from that it was really boring.
Exactly. Make sure you have a balanced diet, not just cream of rice, but you know.
Oh, bro, I don't even like cream of rice that much. Jack's gone off it as well. His appetite's not what it used to
what's
be.
Jack replacing it with?
I can't even remember. You'll have to ask him. I prefer oats. Oats is way better in my opinion.
Just Russ for me personally at the minute.
Ollie doesn't agree. He doesn't look very happy. Rice noodles, bro. Have you tried rice noodles?
Rice, I saw them on your story and they
banging.
slap. They hit so good.
Yeah, and they taste nice cold as well. Like they don't feel like all.
Yeah. I'd rather rice noodles than like normal noodles personally.
Oh yeah. They're good. They're good.
I reckon you'd split hairs with Jack Thorburn if you told him that oats were better. Actually, what would he say? Cream and rice, or would he say oats because he loves both? Mate, who knows?
I don't know. I think oats are better.
Mate, you got to get Jack. I reckon you'd see if you can get Thorburn on the pod today.
I don't think so.
Mate, he's going to say, the worst he'll say is no.
Yeah, that's a very good point. A very good point. I got one question that we can tackle quickly, and then Jack said that we need to try and keep the episode short because they were like over an hour basically every single time, and nobody wants to listen to us for that long. So question I got was just change to Arnold X upper lower. Is this a good split? Chest and back, arms and shoulders, legs, upper, lower. I don't know, bro. You're the one doing it. Tell me, is it a good split?
I could probably hazard a guess and say no.
It wouldn't be my preference. Let's start with that. Ollie looks pretty shocked. Go on, mate.
I just got lost, to be honest. You just said legs and upper lower, and I just like my brain just exploded. Can you repeat the question? Because I just like my brain just like lagged for a second and just didn't.
Right. Is this a good split? Chest and back, arms and shoulders, legs. I assume there's a rest day there. Upper, lower. I assume there's a rest day after lower, but it might be some other way round. I don't know.
Sounds like a split like I started on when I was younger.
No, bro split. What are you doing?
No, all I did was like 10 by 10 on bench and squats. That's it.
That's horrific.
German volume training. Is that what that is? Or...
Yeah. Literally. Is it a good split?
I would say it's not the worst split, but it's also probably not going to be the best split.
I wouldn't say it's optimal, but then again, like it depends. I think for me, it depends on next. Like I would say, I don't know if it's
exactly. You can't really answer that without some context.
But
what he's doing.
I would say there's actually no worse split. It is more about exercise selection that makes it a bad split. I think actually, don't know if that's controversial or not, but
no. I understand what you mean because we look at that on the face of it. Okay, he's training each muscle group twice a week. He's got sort of different priority in different sessions. So some things will probably be first. Obviously, we don't know whether hams or quads are first in either of those sessions there. But then if we don't know what exercises he's doing, it could be a really good split if he's like ticking all the boxes, training the functions of each muscle, that sort of thing. But he also might be doing the same movement patterns in both leg sessions. He also might be doing like pretty much the same stuff in upper and chest and back. We don't know.
Yeah.
Unless he's cuffing everything on his chest and back day, I don't see much. Just make it an upper day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would probably go upper, lower, upper, rest, then upper, lower again, or lower, upper, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather upper, lower, rest. Or
if in doubt, do an upper, lower split. That's my motto.
Oh, see, I'm like, if in doubt, do full body.
Yeah, well,
If you
Yeah,
hate
but
yourself.
would you do full body if you were training like 4 or 5 days a week?
No, absolutely not. No. It'd make you be goosed. Be absolutely flawed. No. But yeah, upper level 4 days a week. I'd say push pull legs for 5 days a week, personally. And
Yeah,
then
I've been
so,
running
but
full legs upper lower, and that's quite nice.
yeah, what is that? What you're on at the moment?
Yeah.
That's, yeah, pretty good split to be fair. But equally as a non-bodybuilder, I'm gonna remain fairly silent.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on the 90 minutes on the bike PM workout. Thank you very much. I remember because I posted a little while ago just a poll of like how many days a week do you train? And I think the most on there was 7, and Ollie just responds and goes 12. Or it was like, how many sessions do you do a week or something like that? And you just took the absolute piss.
Oh, mate, as they say, more is more in every aspect of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah, bro, that's actually a really bad split. You should be training 7 days a week.
Mate, if you're not doing legs every day, you're not training properly.
Yeah, not ideal.
Right.
Absolutely not ideal. Have we got Jack? Seems to have not joined us this week. That's absolutely fine. Man is busy. That's all good. But a pleasure to have you back on again. We chatted absolute shit, but interesting podcast. Moral of the story: put us in charge of the education system. Have we got any closing remarks, gentlemen?
More is more.
More
Size
is
matter. And yeah, that was rubbish. That was horrific. I'll just shut up.
It's fine. Jack will just cut it so it finishes. When you finish, more is more, size does matter.
Perfect.
So it's all good. Right, bosh.